Hey guys, Caleb here, back again with I Love Fanfiction. Today we are going to read a story called Catharsis, which is a Muraki Hisoka slash fanfic. If I recall, this story takes place during Hisoka's rape by Muraki in the Cherry Blossom Grove. I don't know who wrote this, but I'm going to say it's whoever's name this is in the URL. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I will butcher the shit out of it. Before we begin, I think I should give some background on the characters of the story, the characters being Dr. Kazutaka Muraki and Hisoka Kurosaki. Dr. Muraki works as probably a transplant doctor at a hospital in Tokyo. He dresses all in white with glasses, sometimes in light gray, but his color scheme is white. Muraki is described by one of his patients as being an angel. In fiction, the hero is usually depicted as white, as a sign of goodness and innocence. But for Muraki, associating him with white and angels is meant to fool everyone. It can be argued he's the main villain of the story and is described a few times as a vampire. He's not a blood-sucking vampire, though in Book 3, Tezuki remarks he wouldn't be surprised if Muraki drank blood for effect. Muraki is an energy vampire. People who play Dungeons & Dragons or know about vampire culture in real life will be most familiar with this concept. People have a life force, and Muraki is able to siphon it from his victims if he so chooses to do so. In traditional vampire folklore, this is often depicted with blood being drunk, as your blood is thought to be your life. But again, Muraki is able to siphon life from his victims without drinking blood. It is not necessary. Hisoka is one of Dr. Muraki's victims. Because Hisoka has psychic abilities, his family and village feared him and kept him locked up and basically neglected him. Sometimes he was able to sneak out, though. One night when he was 13 and still alive and he couldn't sleep, Hisoka managed to sneak out of the house and wandered around outside in the cherry tree groves. Without meaning to, he witnessed a murder that Dr. Muraki commits. Unfortunately, Hisoka can't get away fast enough, and Muraki's aware of his presence, so he goes right for him. The manga strictly states, without showing you anything, that Muraki went out of his way to not only capture Hisoka, but force himself on him. Yes, rape a 13-year-old boy, and carve a life-stealing curse into his entire body, and then proceeded to erase Hisoka's memory of what he saw and what had happened to him that night. Muraki left him alive, but what Muraki really did to Hisoka was give Hisoka a curse that would slowly and very painfully siphon his life and give it to Muraki. This is how, over the course of 3 years, Muraki killed Hisoka. So when Hisoka dies, he doesn't regain his memories of what happened to him. He's smart enough to know that something is wrong with how he died, but he's not sure what it is. The entire reason he becomes a Shinigami is to find out the truth behind his death. And then stuff happens and Muraki's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you. By the way, that curse I put on you, ha ha ha, I can make you my puppet whenever I want to, and you can't say anything about it. Sucker!" So I think that's all you need to know about Hisoka and Muraki's history together, at least for this story. We are reading Catharsis, a Yami no Matsui Descendents of Darkness / fanfiction featuring Muraki and Hisoka. There will be a link down below in the description if you want to follow along. Never show fear, boy. Fear is a weakness and a delicious energy. Let me taste you. No, don't fight me, you insolent little brat. Give me that mouth. Good boy, now part your lips for me. They're soft and pretty, and maybe once I could have enjoyed kissing for its own sake. But I don't desire you in that way, even if you're foolish enough to think I do. What I desire is your life force, your submission, your total degradation, to break you, to destroy that mockery of innocence. Catharsis. Your looks are such a lie, aren't they, boy? I can feel it. You are not normal. You have strange powers. You taste bittersweet. And it gives me such a strange thrill that I want to break every bone in your body, one by one, and feast at leisure on your agony. You excite me and you utterly disgust me. Why do you scream at me to stop when you know that I won't? What makes you think that you will be spared? You saw what I did to her, and yet you are foolish enough to beg for mercy. You know you're special, don't you, you insubordinate, arrogant child? You can see right through me, the way others cannot. But you're pretty, too, and it would be such a shame to end your suffering so soon. Long, slow, inexorable torture would be the most pleasurable way of taking you. Feeling you crying, hurting, crumbling slowly, knowing that I am the one with the power to hold you in limbo, in that perfect hell between life and death, sipping your life energy as and when I choose, savoring it as one would a good vintage wine. Big, terrified green eyes. No, don't close them. I want to see your pain. I want to watch as you lose strength to struggle. I want to see the helplessness and frustration as you submit to my desires and your death. Stop screaming and hyperventilating. I will not have you pass out on me. You are going to see and feel every moment of this. You are so beautiful, it's obscene. Eyes so large and darkened with terror, sakura petals caught in your golden hair, fluttering down onto that slender white body, purity just waiting to be soiled with blood, semen, and your own excrement. Wouldn't that be nice, boy, to make you lose all control of your bodily functions, to see you in helpless abandonment as you assist me in your own degradation? You were foolish to come out this late at night, on your own so provocatively dressed. Did you really think that anybody would come to save you? And you know that a witness to a murder cannot be allowed to tell the tale. Stop screaming. You want to carry on uselessly crying for me to stop, crying for help? Very well. In that case, I will have to teach you a lesson. Your throat is so tiny in my hands, warm and quivering with fear and sobs. The thought of crushing all life out of it is arousing me too much, and I want to put that annoying mouth to good use by fucking it hard and deep as you choke and gasp for breath. Damn you for tempting me like this. I want to prolong your suffering, not end it. I hope you appreciate this, my skill in strangling you so slowly that you will go limp and submissive for me. There, so much better. Your screams are silent now. You have little energy left to fight me with. I can play with you now. Sweet, slow torture for a beautiful boy. Tears suit you so well. Does it hurt when I twist your nipple like that? Shall I squeeze it a little harder? Leave it red and swollen like your lips? Like the hardness beginning to grow between your legs in spite of yourself? Not so much of an innocent child now, are you, my doll? Don't you want me to touch you there? You can struggle all you like, but I can feel you responding to me, sluttish, helpless, your cock swelling and throbbing as I tease it. You want me to fuck you so hard you bleed and pass out with the pain, don't you? Stop shaking your head. You know you have no choice but to do as I wish. And don't think I will let you lose consciousness, boy. If you try to black out in fear and agony, I will bring you back. Yes. Like this. What? You're surprised I can make you feel good? You don't want to feel good? You hate it that you're responding to my touch, that the tip of my tongue just there excites you, so much that you're trying to arch up into my mouth. Enough. You will come when I'm ready, do you understand? Such slim thighs, milk-white and smooth, so much like a doll. Now suck my fingers. No, don't even think of biting. My other hand is between your legs, and I can twist hard. No, I didn't think you'd want me to do that. Good boy, so obedient. Now cry for me, scream for me, as I open you up. Oh, that is so delicious, to see your small body bucking in agony, to watch you thrashing in pain, to feel you spasm tightly around my hand, unable to free yourself. I want to impale you. Feel every ripple of pain caressing my cock. Ah, so hot and tight, plunging into you. I want to break that slender white neck, gouge those pretty green eyes out, pull your legs so far apart that you'll never be able to walk again, slowly slice into that smooth skin with a knife, taste your blood, make you clean the knife with your tongue. You look so pretty with your mouth open in a soundless scream, your hands clawing at your yukata, and your shame at arching up against me, rubbing your cock against my belly, even as I make you crumple again in pain. It feels like catharsis to orgasm through your agony like this, cleansing myself of the sluggish, sickening weakness I feel when I have no control over life and death. Tonight, I have perfect control. I feel empowered as I pull out of you, watching as you cringe in pain and shame at soiling your yukata. I am happy that I made you bleed too, but I will not have you curling up and whining, clutching yourself defensively, and keeping your degradation and anguish to yourself. I gave you the gift of this living hell, and you will thank me by sharing it with me. What do you mean you don't want me to touch you ever again? I am going to touch you in ways that will be with you forever. You remind me too much of myself at your age. You can try to rebel against me, boy, but you cannot escape. I am going to reduce your life to a nightmare. You dare remind me of my lost hope and innocence, and yet I know you have tasted darkness. You are condemned like me. Your beauty is deceptive, but I'm going to make you truly beautiful by breaking you. Yes, that is the knife I killed her with. Clean it for me. No, not like that. With your tongue. I want you to taint yourself with her blood, her death. That's right. Stop retching. I want that knife clean before I cut into your flesh. Now lie down on your front and stay still. It seems I will have to sit on you and pin your arms beneath you if you are going to jerk away from the blade like that. There, stilled. I can feel myself growing hard again as the sharp steel slices so easily through your delicate flesh and into the muscles beneath, and the sight of the blood that wells up gives me a thrill that only a blade can bring. You look so shocked as I put the knife down beside you and twist your head so that you are forced to look at me. Did you think I was going to allow you to bleed to death as I did that woman? You should know by now that I won't let you off that easily. I lick your blood from my fingers and grip your jaw, pressing my tongue into your mouth for a deep kiss. Taste me. Taste yourself. Taste your degradation, our damnation. You are determined to be sick, aren't you, boy? Now take a deep breath and pull yourself together, or, well, I have other uses for that part of you than severing it, but I'm glad you don't want to take that chance. Slowly, carefully, I dip my fingers in your blood and trace the intricate markings of a curse upon the smooth skin of your back and your buttocks, paying close attention to details. This spell will not only bind you to me, but it will allow me to drain your life force, slowly but surely, leaving you dying little by little in excruciating pain. The thought of your suffering might go on almost interminably makes me shudder with pleasure. Such a befitting death for a beautiful boy, though it is almost a shame that I will not be able to watch you breathe your last. However, I have far too much to do to be bothered stalking you and waiting for you to die. You writhe and sob as the curse burns into your skin like acid, and I become impatient to finish your back, so that I can turn you over, see your distraught face as I bind you to me, There! Finished! I roll you over onto your back, enjoying your whimpering and yelps of pain as I do. Before I start on your chest, there is something I must do. Taking your small penis in my hand, I massage it to life, laugh as you struggle and snarl at me. Yes, my doll, I want you to see you so utterly humiliated that you will never want another's touch there. Toying with your slit, with one finger, I dip the other hand into the bloody wound on your shoulder and continue to inscribe the curse on your thin chest. You are arching and bucking too much, and I command you to be still as I complete my work of art. I sit on your hips, letting my own erection brush against your cock so that I have a free hand with which to pin you down. You howl in indignation and pain, and the sound encourages me to lean over you and rock against you as much as the necessity of completing the curse will allow. The marks upon your skin are angry, inflamed, and I feel a sense of satisfaction at defiling your beauty, at painting the words of death upon the blank canvas of your young body. Leaning back for a moment to survey my work, I smile mockingly at you as you make a feeble move to escape. No, it's not over yet. I want to see you fall apart as you submit to the ultimate humiliation. I want you to see you convulse in orgasmic pleasure at the touch of one who has just tortured you, raped you, and sentenced you to death. Bending down, I tease your erection a little to absolutely infuriate and frustrate you. You are so responsive to my touch, and I know you hate me for it. Bringing my face down, I lift your swollen organ into my mouth and feast upon it, slowly, leisurely, taking delight in tormenting you, in watching you writhe and squirm helplessly. I am gratified to hear you mewl as I take you into my mouth and run my tongue along your length. You are so weakened and defenseless, so desperate for relief from the pain and fear that it doesn't take long before your moans turn to cries, and you try to thrust further into my mouth. No, I will not allow you that sort of pleasurable intimacy. I let you slip out and laugh cruelly at your wail of disappointment and the look of horror on your face as you realized that you admitted to not wanting me to stop. I would leave you aching and frustrated if I didn't think that bringing you to orgasm would scar you more deeply with shame, leave you feeling broken, sensitive, and desperate for comfort and affection afterwards, affection and comfort that I sense will not be there for you. Do you realize that you haven't cried out to anybody to help you, to save you? Is that because there is no one? Firmly grasping the base of your erection, I give a few swift pumps and encourage a response by swirling my tongue around the head. It doesn't take long before you convulse with a hoarse cry, your body arching off the ground, your sticky wetness coating my hand. You fall then, collapsing against your yukata, frail and thin limbs wrapped protectively around yourself, a small and sniveling child who has no one else to turn to. I imagine no one has ever loved you, and after tonight no one will ever want to. Still, there is always the slightest chance that someone will find out what happened to you tonight, unless I take preventative measures. Boy, I say sharply, and you raise your head in fear. I take advantage of the moment to lick your juices, both blood and semen, from my fingers, and taunt you as you stare at me in tearful horror. There are a couple of things I must take care of to avoid detection. Firstly, that wound on your shoulder. I take a small vial of iodine from my pocket and pour some into the open wound, causing you to yelp in pain at the sting. If I leave it to become infected before sealing it over, someone will discover the infection and be suspicious. You are surprised that I can heal, boy? Do you think this is the only side there is to me? I narrow my eye contemptuously and recite a short incantation. I can see from the way you are writhing in discomfort that the wounds inside you are healing too, and itching unpleasantly. The marks of the curse will soon disappear, for now. But never think that the curse has gone, even if you can no longer see it. And now I kneel down, taking your head in both hands, feeling your sweat-damped hair unpleasant beneath my touch. I stare in contempt into those wide, frightened green eyes one more time, only because I know it disturbs you to look at me and mutter a few words. Your head lolls forward, and you crumple unconsciously into my unwelcoming arms. I roughly wrap your yukata around you, then push you away from me in disgust, not caring where you fall. You will not remember me. You will remember nothing of what happened, and I don't care what the hospital thinks you're dying of. You are no longer my concern other than as a source of life energy and power. Walking away, I don't even look back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Muraki to a T. Oh my god, this is so Muraki. Such an a-hole. And I give this author so much prop for getting Muraki down to a T. It's so amazing. And if the author of Yami no Matsue or Descendants of Darkness ever wanted to go in great detail what actually happened in the rape, aside from Hisoka witnessed a murder, Muraki caught him, raped him, and then put a curse on him, and then made him forget, while letting Hisoka slowly die over 3 years. This is what I would imagine happened, because this describes like Muraki would do this. He wouldn't. I mean, he's just not. I mean, he's evil. He's totally evil and does not care about other people at all. And this entire story is Muraki. That if this is what would happen, this is in much greater detail what Muraki did to Hisoka before he put the curse on him and before he erased his memory. Because, I mean, it's not a yaoi. It's not a yaoi comic. It's more of a shonenai, with yaoi implied in several different places. But I really like this story because this is Muraki to a T, and this is how he feels about Hisoka. Like, he was totally into Hisoka during all of this, but the second he's put the curse in place, he's got his sexual satisfaction, and he's made Hisoka forget, he's done with Hisoka. Hisoka did not mean anything to him. So, I can't say enough good things about this story. Is it disturbing? Yes. Is it some psychopath talking about how much he's going to enjoy raping and breaking and killing somebody? Yeah. And that is disturbing. But it's so Muraki. This is essentially Muraki. I mean, yeah, there's a little more to Muraki than this. And it also gives you, while not spoiling everything about the characters, both characters, it also gives you a nice look. It tells you enough about the characters, like that Muraki realizes that there's something special about Hisoka, that he has a special power to see what Muraki really is, on the inside. But Muraki has also realized, based on Hisoka's actions and, when he was screaming for help, that he's not screaming for a specific person, which means he has no attachment to anybody, to really anybody, and Muraki's figuring out that nobody's going to come and save Hisoka, and there's nobody Hisoka is really attached to that he could tell someone about, what happened. So no one's really going to care what happened to Hisoka. And then, of course, this whole thing in Muraki's voice, it just makes sense because Muraki, of course, puts not just the curse, but the addition to memory loss on Hisoka. So if you had this be Hisoka's point of view, it would just end after having the curse carved onto his body, and then he'd just wake up in the grass or whatever happened, and he wouldn't remember anything. It wouldn't have the impact that having the point of view of Muraki would have. Not to say it wouldn't be any less good, but I think the impact of the story, or at least in regards to Muraki, how Muraki's character is, this has the best impact, and really explains of how he can obsess and like somebody, but it's a superficial like. It's that's innocent and naive and cute, I should go and ruin that, and now that I've ruined that, there's no more appeal in it for me. And that's really, and that is a very hardcore sinner of Muraki, is he is your ideal sociopath. He's in it for himself, and other people are interesting or not, and they have various degrees of being interesting for him. But I hope you enjoyed this story and liked it as much as I do. I hope this gets you interested in reading Yami no Matsue, or the English title Descendants of Darkness. Please buy the books. Hopefully the new chapters and volume 12 will get licensed and translated and brought over here. Check out the anime. I didn't mention that last time, but there is a 13-episode anime. It was originally supposed to be 26 episodes, but they apparently didn't have as much money as they thought they were going to have, so it ended up being 13 episodes. And those episodes concern the first book, the second book, the third book, and then they skip all the way to the 8th book, which is the story arc I mentioned in the other story about the that Shinigami can't die, but they almost did. And then I was talking about earlier, where Hisoka again witnesses a murder of Muraki's, and Muraki tries to rape him, but thankfully he gets saved. I'm probably going to cut that part out because that was super spoiler, and I really shouldn't have mentioned it. And go read Yami no Matsue. It's amazing, and I hope you like it just as much as I do. Also, she's a video game fan. The author is a video game fan, so when you get the third book, pay close attention to the background artwork. And if you know what I'm talking about, leave a special comment below. And I guess I'll give you shout-outs whenever the next Yami no Matsue story comes out. Yay! I'm Caleb, and this has been I Love Fanfiction. Thank you for listening.